Hello, everyone. Michelle here from the Creative Cove. Thanks for coming in and joining me today. Something really fun and exciting for me, anyways. I was contacted by a company called PM Art Studios, and they are a stencil company. And they asked me if I would like to turn my drawings into stamps, sorry. So they do stencils and stamps. They have all kinds of fun things on their website and their in their store. So I will be linking all the information for those in the description box below. So there's a collection of 4. They're sold individually. These are my designs of my bugs. So they are kind of a black foam type of stamp. And I know it's really hard to see the details right now because they're black. But this one here, I stamped with acrylic paint on here. Just to show you. So it might look familiar to you. I have done these before myself in a stamp and in a carving, and then they've turned it into a foam stamp. So much more affordable with this kind of stamp than it is with the rubber and the wood backing. And we're gonna do some stamping today. I thought we might make a little bag. I have these scrap fabrics, and I want to stamp on fabric. So let's give it a go. So because I'm stamping on fabric, I'm going to use a type of acrylic paint because I don't want to use ink. Ink, I think, can bleed or kind of fade over time. I want this bag to last a long time. So I am going to stamp on some fabric that I have kicking around. I will link all their information. They do a YouTube channel too that's live. They sent me some cute little samples of scrap papers, and a stencil here, one of their little mini stencils, which is really cute, of like a lunar, the moon and its pattern. Then it goes through for the month. So I thought, oh, they also sent me this. It's really cool. So this is one of their stencils too. I need something dark to show it off. I don't really have anything dark on me. So here's a piece of cardboard. So here's the stencil here as an example. So it's a textured stencil, which is really neat. And then they send you the negative as well, so that you can have an actual outline of this texture as well. So that was they sent me that free as a little gift. I thought that was really nice. So it gives you an idea of some of the things they have. And now they have a few of my designs in there, which I think is really exciting. So, oops, I'm just going to move this out of the way so I don't paint all over it. This is going to be a messy project. Messy as usual, because that's how I roll. So these were some scraps I had over, and I thought we would somehow use those. So let me just get organized here. So I have this really thin canvas that I bought. I thought I'd make just a project bag. I love project bags. I use them all the time in my knitting and in my journaling. And I just love a little zipper pouch. I don't know, I'm obsessed with them. And then I have this kind of leftover scrapped kind of, I guess this would be what you would use for a chair, what that's called. I can't think of the word of that fabric right now. But we'll make a little bag. So first I want to stamp. So I want to stamp and then sew. Normally you want to stamp and practice a little bit before you sew your bag and then stamp, because I have been lazy and done that in the past and then stamped it wrong. No surprise there, huh? You want to put something in between your fabric just in case the acrylic paint gets thick and it bleeds through. Like I said, this is a very thin weight canvas. It's not a very super strong material, but I like that it's neutral. We're going to use some acrylic paint. So for me, I have some of this furniture fusion paint that's kicking around in coal black. I don't have much left. As you can see, it's old. So I thought I'd use this up. And it's basically an acrylic paint. It's got a primer sealer in it on top of it because it is a furniture paint, but you can just use any acrylic paint. And then I have my brayer here. So I'm going to see if I've got enough wet paint. I think I need a little bit more on here. So these stamps you can use with acrylic paints. You can use with inks, obviously. If you're using an acrylic paint like I'm doing right now, you're going to want to make sure you can put your stencil in a bowl of water. So I have a bowl of water over here that you can drop it in so that the paint doesn't have a chance to dry on the on the stamp. Otherwise, you might lose some detail. So I'm going to try it this way. I was rolling it, but now that I have enough paint, I'm going to try it this way. So I'm going to stick it in my paint here. Try and make sure I pick up all my details. Don't want too much paint. And then we're going to just stick it down. So I know I'm going to have a seam allowance. I know I'm going to, but I'm not concerned about the pattern. I'm just going to have some fun stamping some of my bugs. And I love bugs. So basically you're kind of designing your own fabric, which is a lot of fun. So you can go over and over again with the details, and you can paint these things in. So that was a little bit too much paint. So I can paint that in if I want. I'm not overly concerned. It's just having fun with these little bugs I have. So I'm going to go back to the brayer here and see if that works better, because I've only done the one stamp, which I showed you earlier. So maybe the brayer will control the amount of paint I put on. We'll see. Let's try. So this guy's going to go here. He looks really funny. It looks like he's got legs. The back of the stamp's deceiving as to what actually stamps. And I want to put enough pressure on to make contact, enough contact with the fabric, and then pull up. So really cute. So I'm gonna do one more of him before I put him in the water. So I'm gonna add a little bit more paint here. Now this paint that I'm using also dries very quickly because it is a furniture paint. It's designed to dry fast. So let's do another one of him. So you can see how deceiving the back of the stamp is compared to the actual image you're going to get. And I have a hard surface underneath here. You have to have something hard to push against. And if you were printing on paper, you wouldn't have to work this hard. It's just that I'm working on a fabric, so I want to make sure that I have really good contact. So I'm going to put him in the water now, because again, I don't want him drying off. I'm going to add some more paint to my brayer. Now normally I would have some space here, but I have the sewing machine out. I have a lot of projects on the go here. I'm all over the place, as per usual. So now I'm going to do this guy. So he's a little bit, like I said, they're a bit hard to see until you stamp them. So which way? I think I'll do him this way. And basically I'm designing my own fabric here for my bag. So I want the front kind of simplified and the back to have the bug patterns on. That's so pretty. I'm really pleased with these stamps. I was really happy when they showed me them, and they sent these 4 to me and asked me to be one of their designers for some of their for the products here that of my artwork. And you know, that's really flattering when somebody reaches out to you and says, hey, can we get your artwork and sell it because we really like it? It's like, yeah. That is such a nice feeling. It's really flattering. And a lot of people from my YouTube channel have been asking if I was going to make some stamps. And so here we go. If there's something that you've seen on my YouTube channel that you want into a stamp, please let me know, and I can let them know, and we can go from there. So I really like this one. I keep using it. I'm going to do the honeybee next. So there we go. So because they're in acrylic paint, this will not wash off, and the paint will remain flexible like the fabric. You can use fabric paint, obviously, but a thin coat acrylic paint works just as well. You just don't want to go too thick. If you go thick with acrylic paint, it can crack. Unless you use a medium that makes the acrylic paint flexible. So here we go. This is the little honeybee. And there he is. So cute. I love it. So I'm going to go off the page just a little, even though I know that a lot of this will be covered with the seam allowance. I still want little things peeking through here. I want to fill this fabric. So I'm just going to use a little bit around the edges. And I think I'll go back to this guy. So again, I just soak them, I just drop them in water so they don't have a chance to let that acrylic dry. And then I just give them a quick wipe. And that way none of the grooves and the details get lost with dry acrylic paint. So you just have a little bowl of water handy to go, and then your stencil's as good as new. And I'm going to, you don't have to do that with ink, just paint. Do a couple of this guy. Sorry, my braier's off camera there, but I only have so much room. So I'm gonna put his wing over here. And make myself a little project bag. Designing my own fabric with my own stamps. How fun is that? So all my drawings are showing up on my fabric here, which is so much fun. What should I put over here? I think I'll put this guy over here. I'm just gonna wipe him off. I don't want to move him over because he might drip until I have it dry. Once I have it dry, then I can move it. So again, nice and clean. And I think I'll use this wing here. Just stamp right here. Again, a lot of this is going to get lost with the seam allowance, but I still want to see if I can get little snippets coming in so that it looks like the fabric continues. And I just cut a section out of this pre-made fabric, which I think is really fun. So move this guy over here, spin it for a second. Okay, and one more in the corner, and then we're done. There we go. So there's my fabric. So cute. All right, so I'm gonna let that dry for a second and put all this stuff in my water bowl here to soak. And then I'm gonna clean that up. So I'm gonna try and get my video to sew. It's hard to I don't have another camera angle that I can set up my sewing machine, but I'm hoping that you can watch me kind of sew the bag if you're interested. So this fabric, again, they're just scraps. So what I have is approximately 14.5 inches by 11 inches. And then I had that scrap piece here. I still can't think of the name of this fabric. It's got a name, which is 15 inches by, it's not cut very straight, by 7.5 inches. So anybody who knows me, I'm not very good at lining things up well. I just kind of wing it. So I'm going to put the two right sides of the fabric together. Again, this is the back side of my bag at this point. It might become the front. We'll see how I feel. I might stamp the other side after all. I'm just going to put the right sides together, and then I'm going to run it through with a straight stitch with about a 1/4 inch. What have I got here? This is a new machine too, so a 3/8. We're gonna do 3/8 of a seam allowance here. So let me see if I can work this machine. And what stitch do I have? Let's go to straight. It's so new to me. Okay, let's give it a go. I love using these scrap fabrics. When I'm in the thrift shop, I'll pick up random scraps, or even, you know, a piece of fabric from a shirt that I might like. See, none of my sewing is straight ever. I don't have a knack for sewing, yet I sometimes really still enjoy doing it. And you're going to see what I mean in a second when you see my sewing line here. So you can see I start off at and then I get down to like a 1/4 inch. And my thread broke and I didn't even notice. Okay, so the thread didn't actually break. I ran out of bobbin. So you can see my lines aren't very straight here, which is no surprise. So I've missed this part because the bobbin ran out, so maybe I'll try and straighten it out. And I think because my machine's on a bit of an angle to me, it makes it a little harder to see if I'm going straight or not. That's my excuse anyways, and I'm sticking to it. So normally I do like stamps on paper, but I thought it'd be kind of fun to use stamps on fabric and see what we can do with them. I really like the idea of getting multiple uses out of things. So here's the connection. So for me, I like a two-tone bag. I just find it looks a little bit more interesting. I'm going to just press this really quick. And I'm assuming that this fabric can be pressed. This, again, they're scraps, so there could be like a plastic or polyester in this, and I could melt it. I don't know, but I'm not concerned. It's just a craft project. It's fun. It's experimental. As you can see, I don't even have an ironing board. I just put extra fabrics down to absorb the heat. So there we go. That's side number one. So now I'm going to do both sides together, right sides together on this side. So like this. Not that there's really a wrong or right to this canvas, I don't think. And I'm going to do the same sort of allowance on this side, the 5/8. I'm going to try anyways. Try and get the 5/8 inch. You can pin this, of course. Probably help me if I had. But I'm no professional. I'm just a crafter having fun. I even have room on my desk for the fabric. Okay. Okay, go up here. And then we'll press this side. So now I have the two. So we didn't print on this side because I wanted to put that spare piece there. I'm just pressing the seam. So my idea was to sew this spare piece right here, kind of as a decorative. Now we could even turn it into kind of like a rough pocket if we wanted. So the thing is, I don't have any more of this fabric left. It was only a tiny bit. So I could push that down and just kind of leave a raw edge look. Let's try it. Let's try and make a pocket there just for fun. Don't know if I can press this. I can't use a ton of it, otherwise I won't see it at the bottom. And I want to make sure that I can see it all the way around, just to help me kind of feed it in the machine. And I do have these cute little clips, so we'll put some of these on to help me try and stay straight here. I'm just going to do a zigzag on this. If I can figure that out. There we go. Zigzag stitch this guy. And it's not professional. I'm not closing in the seams here. It's just a little project bag. A quick kind of sew. This stuff doesn't fray anyways. It's got a felt backing to it, and this stuff frays, and that's the look I wanted. So now I'm going to sew this to this piece, and we'll do a straight stitch on that. And I want that frayed edge. Sew that around. And then I leave the needle in and rotate. Kind of thought this idea would kind of showcase this stamp a little bit on the bag itself. And then you get a kind of like a fun surprise on the back with all the stamps. Now I have a zipper I found in my stash. We'll see if that fits. Hopefully it will work. I'm terrible at sewing zippers in. You want to see how not to sew a zipper in? Stick around. I will show you what not to do. Okay, so there's that now. So that's all sewn together. And I've got to remember I'll have a seam allowance up here and a seam allowance on the side. So I want to kind of gauge where I want it. So I'm going to try and put it as centered as I can. Now you can measure, but I'm too lazy. So I'm just going to visually center it where I think I want it. And then I'm going to stitch around. So for that, I will have to, I don't know if I have any pins here. Do I have pins? I have needles. We'll use this. This is my like little sewing needle thing for my journaling. So I'll just use a needle to keep it in place so it doesn't shift too much on me. And then I'll try and remember not to stitch along the top so that I get a pocket. Okay, let's go for it. Let's go for it. Okay, so I think I'm good to go. I'm going to back stitch up here for a little extra reinforcement because that's where the abuse will be when you're going in and out of the pocket. Oh, my camera's not bouncing too much. And I'm sorry that you can't really see what I'm sewing. It's just my camera set up. We're almost done. We're almost done the sewing. Not too much more. And then I want to show you the bag. So I'm going to take this honking needle out before it breaks my sewing needle. I think I'm actually going to drop this just a little lower. Okay, we'll sew along here now. Upholstery fabric, it just came in my head now. This is what I'm using as upholstery fabric. So what's nice is it's got that strong felt backing. It's not going to fray or fall apart on me. I'm just going to sew up and then back stitch a little here for a little reinforcement. And I have my paint and my water right in the way. Sorry about that, right in your face. I gotta get that out of the way before I spill it everywhere. I am so bad for that. Okay, so there it is. There's our little pocket for our bag. That's cute. So I might actually just, I think what I'm gonna do is, do I wanna I think I'm gonna leave it like that actually. Now I could want to decide whether or not I want to stitch this down before I sew the bag together. I don't know, I kind of like it sitting up like that rough, so I'm going to leave it. Okay, so I can trim this extra inch off that I have here. Where's my scissors? Okay, scissors somewhere here. Right here. I'm just going to trim this so that it doesn't get in the way. Garbage. And then let's see here. So this is what we have so far. So I have the back fabric, the middle kind of decorative fabric, and it's also nice because it's thicker and stronger fabric. So if you're dropping your bag on the floor a lot, it's a little bit stronger. And then the front of the bag. So I'm going to put the two sides together. I wonder if I should sew the zipper first. I'm terrible at zippers, so I never know how to sew a zipper. Here it is here. And it's just long enough by the looks of it. So I think I should sew the zipper first, right? What are you sewers out there saying right now? No, don't sew the zipper. I think it'd be easier to sew the zipper while the bag's flat than folded, I think. Let's see if I can figure out how to do the zipper. I have done zippers before, but they never work well. Like they're never professional or flat or neat or anything. And I don't know if I have a zipper foot. Let me see. So I changed the foot. I don't know if it's a zipper foot or not, but I can show you. Maybe you guys can let me know. It's this guy. But I can see the needle and there's no foot that comes past. So I'm assuming I can get pretty close to the zipper on that, which I'm going to use. I'm going to try. Please let me know what foot that is, because again, I am not a connoisseur of sewing. This video is kind of to inspire those who maybe want to try sewing and stamping and don't know where to start. Well, watch me. I'll show you what not to do. So I was going to just sew this straight on there, but like I said, this frays really bad. So I think what I'm going to have to do is create some sort of like a barrier of some kind where I can wrap this frayed edge in itself a little bit, if you know what I mean, just so I can kind of sew it under so that it doesn't fray into the zipper while you're doing it up and down. So like when you're unzipping the bag and zipping the bag up, all these frayed bits don't get caught in it, because then you jam up your zipper and it's no fun. So I've decided to do this first. If I was doing a lining, I wouldn't need to do this, but I'm not doing a lining for this bag. It's just a quick, simple project bag. So I'm just going to run this through the machine really quick, because I'm not talented enough to sew this and the zipper together at the same time. I'll definitely screw that up. So let me just run this through. It's a good way to test this foot anyways, I think. Make sure my thing is lined up properly. I don't even know where the needle's going to hit here. I think that's the setting I need, so let's go for it. Nope, that's wrong. Almost broke my needle. Oh, I did broke my needle. Okay, I'll be right back. That was an ordeal. So I did break my needle, and I switched back to my other foot, because whatever foot that was, it was not working for me. I could not figure it out. I don't even know if it came with this machine. So I'm just gone back to my regular foot. So it's not a zipper foot, I know that much. So it will kind of be a distant stitch away from the zipper. So not a neat zipper, but I think it's fair to say that that's inevitable with my sewing. So I'm just finishing off this seam, and then I'll show you how I'm going to attach the zipper here. So I folded under and got rid of those raw edges now. So now I'm going to put, and I used a zigzag there just for some strength. It is going to show up on the other side, but that's okay. So I'm going to put right sides together again, the right side of the zipper to the right side of the bag, and I'm going to sew along that, and I'll be right back. Okay, so there's the zipper sewn to the bag now, and it actually got pretty darn close. I was surprised how close I managed to get the fabric to the zipper without using a zipper foot. But maybe it's just because this zipper is like a plastic soft zipper. It's got a little bit more flexibility in it. So I'm just going to press this now, and then I'm going to repeat the same thing for this side. I'm going to fold down the edge and get rid of those raw edges, and then sew it to the other side here to the zipper. Okay, so here it is now. I sewn both of them down, and here's the zip right here. So functional, woohoo, which is always good. Got to get rid of all these little bits. My bobbin kept jamming there. I don't know why I'm so jinked with sewing machines, but it's probably because I'm pretty rough on them. But anywho, that's the zipper in. So what I think I'm going to do now, just to give it a little bit of touch, is just a back stitch down over top of the zipper and have a nice little finished edge there. So I will be right back after that. So I have this top stitch done on my bag here, which turned out pretty good. Not the straightest stitching, but you know, a nice little clean edge for the zipper to zip through. So now I'm going to close the bag up. I'm going to sew the bag together down the seams. The bottom is enclosed already, so just down the seams here. And I'll do that off camera as well. Just there's no point really watching me do that, because you can't really see the camera angle either. And to be honest, I sew better when nobody's watching. This seems to cooperate, less pressure, I don't know. So basically I'm just going to turn the bag inside out and fold where they meet here on the outside, and just sew down 5/8 inch seam allowance. Now before you sew down, you can zigzag the edges here for the fraying. I'll probably do that as well, just because this This does fray this canvas, and you don't want this stuff kind of getting into your project stuff that you're storing in this bag. So just give that a zigzag down the end before you sew the seams together. All right, be right back. One thing before you sew the seams together, you do want to make sure that your edges of your decorative piece at the bottom do match. And also you want to open the zipper a little bit so that you can turn it right side in, so that you can get your hand in there and turn the bag the right side out, I mean. Okay. Alrighty, so I sewed down the outer edge of the bag, seal it up, and then I did a quick zigzag over the frayed edges here just to stop this from fraying any further. Try to clean up all my little threads here. Now you can take the bag a little bit further and miter the corners. So if you wanted a wide, deep bag as opposed to a flat pencil case style, you could have a more of a deep pocket type thing where you can miter the corner across. And you can Google this on a YouTube channel that actually is good at sewing. And you can measure down, and the deeper you go in the corner, the fatter the bag sits. So it shortens the bag, but it makes the bag wider, so you get a deep kind of look to your bag. So you just sew across here, and then it gives you a deeper pocket. But I just want a kind of like a flat pencil bag is how I like my project bags. So we're going to turn it the right side out here, find our corners, and maybe give it a bit of a press. Finish our edges, so you can see it's just going to be a flat pencil case type of bag is what I'm after. I know that there's much neater ways of doing zippers than the way I did mine today, but this is just, again, just like a pencil storage bag, so I'm not overly concerned about the final end of these zippers. I just want something practical and fast and fun. And I really do love making bags. When I really take my time to do something really well, I put liners in it and everything. But these kind of project bags I like to do quickly, so that they're simple to use and easy to use, fun to use up scraps of fabrics you might have kicking around. So here's all those frayed edges that were in there before we had a chance to clean them up. So here's our zipper. There we go. There's the front of our bag, which I want to press really quick right now, just to kind of flatten it out. And then I'll show you the back. I'm just gonna, so this paint you can heat up a little bit. It won't hurt it. But so I pre-washed the canvas, so this can actually go in the washing machine and dryer now. It's not going to shrink at all. And same with that fusion paint, though I don't know if I'd put the fusion paint in the dryer. I don't know, like it's holding up to the heat, no problem, but I don't know if it would melt and transfer to other garments. So here's our other side, which is really fun. Look at our own fabric. I mean, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking I want to make curtains. Bug curtains for my room, because it's just so cool. So there you go. I'm using the iron on this and it doesn't seem to be disturbing it, but you never know. I wouldn't want to say, yeah, go ahead and throw it in the dryer with your nice blouse or something and have something happen. So how's that for a fun little project today? Using our stamps, and where did I put those? I think they're drying. Let me go get them. Yeah, so using our stamps here, making a little bag. I really like the little pocket. I think that's a cute little touch. You could also stamp on here if you decided now I want to add maybe like a row of little stamps along here. Of course, just put something in between your bag so it doesn't bleed to the other side. But I think that our little project bag turned out so cute, and using our little sponge stamps. So again, these are from PM Art Studios. I will link all the information. I obviously will make a small commission on my designs that are up there, and it's currently these four available, these bug ones. And hope you like this idea. Hope you like the project we did today. A little different than journaling, I know. It's something outside what I normally show, but this channel is all about experimenting and trying new things, and now I have a bag to hold all my stamps. Totally awesome. Hope you like that today, guys. Have a great day. Bye.